Hello, this is Lindsay, and right now you're watching a John Green Crash Course parody. Today's episode, AP English. Right now we're about to be discussing everything from the most basic of free writes to the complexity of Mark Twain's pieces. So stay tuned, you might just learn something. Okay, today we're going to be talking about AP English Language, one of the many varied AP courses that's offered at a public high school, from anywhere like AP Calculus to AP Spanish to whatever you want to be interested in. But we're going to focus and talk about one in particular today, Miss Full's AP course. So, I know what you're thinking. AP English, that's going to be that guy from like the 1500s in his 20s, like holding a skull and being like, to be or not to be? That is the question. But really, Hamlet only takes up a little bit of the classroom, you know. Okay, so a large portion of the course AP English Language is taken up by what's called timed writings. Timed writings are basically composed of three different aspects. The timed part, which is 45 minutes to write the essay. The second is the piece, and the third is the prompt. The prompt is basically just an average prompt. It's giving you what you're needing to do with that piece, and the piece is used as a supporter for it. There are three types of timed writings: argumentative, rhetorical analysis, and synthesis. The first one we did this year was on the piece The Pink Flamingo, and it was a rhetorical analysis. This piece was taken from Jennifer Price, and it was basically just talking about the pink flamingo from the 1950s, the present day, and how it affected American pop culture, along with where the bird originated from and how it affected those places. So basically, we've gotten this piece out more recently because it's the end of the school year, and we're comparing how we write now from how we wrote in the beginning of the school year with a less knowledgeable understanding of the course overall. And so we took a sentence from the essay that we wrote, the timed writing, and we decided to rewrite it. And it was just any sentence of our choosing that we thought could make the most difference. And so my sentence, because I'm going to use myself as a little story, a personal story, was my story. And may I say with this sentence that it is probably the worst sentence I know you will hear ever. It's okay. I know it's not even a real sentence. That's fine. I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that. But mine were, if it were not for her use of puns, like flocking, splashing, and waiting. That's it. That's the sentence. And so I'm not exactly sure where I was going. I think I just forgot to finish writing the sentence. So I changed it, obviously. And I changed it to, through Price's choice of style and diction, including words such as splash, flocking, and waiting, she is able to create a relaxed and humorous atmosphere throughout her piece. So, honestly, I'd like your opinion. Which one do you really think sounds better, honestly? Okay, so while this was a really good way for us to kind of get our feet wet with the English language, it really didn't prepare us for, the insanity that's brought about by yellow wallpaper and the cannibalism of infants that follows shortly behind. Haha, just kidding. Nobody's actually eating any babies around here, at least that I'm aware of, or probably at this time. There was that thing with Jonathan Swift, a moderate proposal. Yeah, he said the Irish should probably be having their babies eaten by the British because, they taste good. But he wasn't being serious. He was just showing the British how big a jerkwads they were being against the Irish. This piece was recently taken a poll of, and although it really wasn't that liked by the British, it really was liked by our classmates. For instance, Lucas said it helped him continue his dreams of eating babies. Andrew said it was a 10 out of 10. You see, while most of the pieces that we saw in the classroom weren't really controversial in the classroom among students, they were highly controversial whenever they were publicized in their own time. Take, for instance, Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper. It was highly controversial and really a hot topic by many physicians at the time as to whether it should even be taken into consideration because it wasn't from a doctor and it was from a woman and it was because she was mentally ill at the time. And, what really should be used for it? Should we use it as medical insight? Should we change other people's and patients' treatment because of it? What should we make of it? Oh my God. What's so significant about it? It's not like she even, talks all proper and, stuff. Thank you, me from the past. And you see, while it may not have been all written all proper and stuff, it was truly eye-opening about the unknown improper treatment of mental disorders and diseases. Oh, okay. So they, figured it out and, fixed mental disease and all that stuff. Not necessarily. There's still a lot of work to be done, and although it was helpful in contributing to a lot of people, Whenever it was first publicized, many took it as more of a horror story than anything. You know, Scarlett Perkins Gilman was not the only one we observed this in. We also saw this in L.M.N.O.P., The Great Gatsby, Scarlet Letter, and Frankenstein. Well, looks like it's time for Open Letter. This one is addressed to free rights. Are you kidding me, free rights? First off, I have to decide where I want to go to college, what kind of college major and undergrad I want to have, where I want to stay at, what I want to do in the rest of my life, and then you're going to ask me to make up my own prompt? No, this is crap. I am not accepting it. Sincerely, Lindsay. And lastly, you didn't think you'd get through this entire video without me talking about the Skull Guy, right? I mean, how awesome is Hamlet? We do this entire thing about him, and you make up, you know, you bring in your own source, and you make up your own legal case in a timed writing for synthesis, and oh my gosh, you get to rewrite the to be or not to be thing. I love Hamlet. It is so much fun. It was so much fun reading and acting it out with lightsabers and all of that kind of fun stuff, and you chop people's hands off, you know, except not really. How could you not love Hamlet? I mean, he's an all-around swell guy, except for the fact that he murdered his mother and kind of his uncle and himself and committed suicide and killed a guy because he thought he was a rat and he was talking to skulls and... But other than that, he's a pretty swell guy. You know, there's a lot of fun stuff. I mean, it's an enjoyable class all around. You know, you get to listen to enjoyable stuff like David Sedaris and do a Priestess on it. Priestesses kind of suck, but, you know, David Sedaris evens it out. You know, it's just a pretty good class. I would highly recommend it. And as we say in my hometown, stay awesome.